Brief appeal about a tragic and unusual crime in Lincolnshire. As a result, detectives have gathered from Crimewatch viewers several more sightings and enough new evidence to turn the case into a reconstruction. It's about Mrs. Vera Laver, who lived in the village of Tetney, just south of Grimsby, and the events you're about to see unfold took place 12 weeks ago. Our scene starts on Thursday, September the 19th.
Mum lived in Tetney about 47 years, and most people knew who my mum was.
Hello, love. Hi, Mum, you okay? I'm fine.
On the Thursday morning, I come round because she'd got this letter from the gas board and it was worrying her.
Of course not, Mum.
She was a very caring person. She had a very generous nature, and she was a lovely mum, and she liked having all the family around her.
Well, that's sorted out then. What do you want done about this one? Do you want it thrown out?
Oh, no, you fill it in if you want to.
I normally go through a mail, and there was this shopping survey. I was going to post it when I left, but I forgot, so it got left on the table.
Dawn the following day, Friday, September the 20th.
I just left home around 5:10. Drove to Tetney, down Station Road. As I approached the junction of the A16, I saw the chap stood on the right-hand side, right back near the hedge. I had a second glance at him as I pulled out, and I thought, I wonder what he's doing at this time of morning, stood there near the hedge. Because he didn't look, as though he was waiting for a lift.
Who was the man? How did he get there? And did anyone else see him? Tetney, 2 miles away and 2.5 hours later.
As I reversed out the drive on my way to work, I saw a man walking towards me. He was dressed in dark clothing, he was aged in his 30s to 40s. The main thing I remember about him was the amount of stubble that he had on his face. He seemed very much out of place, not somebody that you would normally see in the village.
Come on, G. There you go. I'll see you. Come on.
Just around the corner from Vera's house, a neighbour noticed two men. One was rough-looking, the other was smart and walking a dog. Who was he? He could be an important witness. Further down the road, the scruffy man was seen again.
I was just getting dressed and I saw this guy and I thought, I've never seen him before around here. He was about 5'11" to 6 foot tall, of normal to stocky build, rough looking. He had dark wavy hair and he had a bit of stubble on his face, quite a pale complexion. I noticed him again from the reflection across the way. He was walking towards the cutting.
Oh, better go and post these, hadn't I? Now, you can't come this time. You can come a bit later, OK? Good girl.
At about 8:30, a neighbour noticed Vera heading for the cutting, a footpath that led through to the postbox. The cutting is quite a busy thoroughfare between gardens through the village.
Morning.
A villager heard moans, but thought no more about it.
Tetney 298394.
Let's down the footpath and I was attacked.
I couldn't believe it. I felt so sorry for my mum to have to go through something like that at her age. I mean, it'd be bad enough for anybody, but, you know, for somebody of my mum's age, you know, I felt shaky for me mum, you know, as if it had happened to me, so, you know.
Hello? We need your help. My mother's been raped.
Half an hour later, on the busy A16 from Louth to Grimsby.
As I was driving towards Tolbar roundabout, I spotted a man in dark clothing, heavily dressed for the type of morning it was. He had a black woolly hat on. I thought the jumper could have possibly been navy blue, and his jeans possibly black. He was a thick-set man, tall, and his hair was black, turning grey.
Did you see him that day? That afternoon, Vera came home from hospital and went to run a bath. Within moments, she suffered a major stroke.
To think what she went through in the morning and then to die in the afternoon, you know, we couldn't believe it after all that she'd gone through, and then she died. I mean, we all know she'd still be here now if that hadn't have happened to her in the morning. I always thought she was going to live to be in her 90s. And now it's all been taken away from her.
Martin Bontoft, how good a description was Vera Laver able to give you?
Yes, she was able to give us a description of her attacker, and that was that he was a white male. He was 30 to 40 years old. He was around 6 feet tall, and she described him of a muscular physique. He had several days' growth of stubble on his face, 3 to 4 days' growth of stubble, and she particularly remembered that he had piercing, menacing eyes. He was wearing a black woolen hat, and he had a top or jumper on that was rough to the touch, and dark trousers or jeans.
Now let's take a close-up at that artist's impression, and
Right.
I should say this is what you describe as a composite. Now, what does that mean, and what are the limitations?
Yes, what that means is that is an artist's impression that has been made up from a variety of different witnesses. It is not meant as an exact image of the offender necessarily, or even the person that was seen in that area. It is a rough guide.
Do you think he's done this sort of thing before?
I think that this man will have committed this type of offence in the past, yes.
So there may be women watching who've been frightened by him, have been approached by him, even perhaps raped by him.
Absolutely,
Who you want to call in?
Yes, absolutely.
And you've got DNA evidence, so you can eliminate people very quickly.
Yes, it's made things much simpler now. If we do get any suspects, we simply need to invite them to give us a sample. We can get a DNA profile from that and compare it with the one we've got.
And if you think he's done this before in the past, presumably you're concerned he'll do it again in the future?
I'm very concerned and think that he may try it again, yes.
Whatever help you think you have, do please call 0500 600 600. It's free, and it could stop a repetition. 0500 600 600, or you could try the incident room direct on 01522 532 222. That's Lincoln 532 222.